Okay, this requires a lot of background information, but you know that the Russian government was all instigated, sadly, by the leaders of the reform movement, most notably this guy Lowenthal, who are pushing the government to take complete control of the Jewish education in Russia and secularize it, So there were these meetings, the Tzemach Tzedek, that's recorded, the Tzemach Tzedek writes, it's a must read, if you haven't read it. The Tzemach Tzedek, and it's translated beautiful. There's a series, they came out recently, read it all beautifully, like 4 or 5 beautifully, aesthetically beautiful vignette stories, all from the writings of the Friedrich Rebbe. It's a set, it's beautiful to get. The debate in Minsk, then the Rebbe sends Rivka, and it's a lot of it's the detail of picture of life in those days. So one of them is that Tzemach Tzedek's, if you get a recording, Tzemach Tzedek's great battle against the Haskalah movement. I mean, it's historical stuff. So here's an incident here. This is not in the Friedrich Rebbe, this is related by Chassidim. Rabbi Shmuel Levitin, the Mashpir in 770 related. In one of the meetings, the government asked the rabbis, the representatives of the Misnagdim, Chassidim, that the Tzemach Tzedek, and Reform, Dr. Stern, and a businessman. So they asked, please explain. It says in Medrash, Toiv shebegoyim haroig. The best goy should be killed. Please explain this to us. So the Tzemach Tzedek turns, this is a Riddick story, turns to Rabbi Yitzchak Volozhin. He was representative of the Misnagdim, the famous Rabbi Yitzchak Volozhin, whole brisk world that descends from there. He says to them to answer them. So the Rabbi Yitzchak Volozhin said, Rabbi Yitzchak, they called him. He says it's a mistake. In the source it says Toiv shebegoyim ketoil. Ketoil is Aramaic. Ketoil. Now, what it really is, it means Catholic. Who are the best amongst the nations? The Catholics. But the printer thought it was the Aramaic word for ketoil, kill, and just translate it in Hebrew, haroig. And to write it more precisely, because the Medrash is basically in Hebrew, and sometimes the Aramaic words, he made the whole thing in Lashon HaKodesh, and he changed the word ketoil, which he thought means kill. It really means a Catholic, to haroig. And that's what remained in subsequent printings. Such an answer the government officials were not expecting. And they said, prove this. So the Tzemach Tzedek said, okay, you go to this place. It's an early edition of the Medrash. And so not this place. The government has a library, the Russian government, then a massive library of rare manuscripts and books and so on. And Tzemach Tzedek said, you'll find it there. So they found the Medrash from that early, maybe the first printing. They brought it to the meeting. Tzemach Tzedek opens it and shows to them, it says Ketoil. Like the Volozhin, like Rabbi Yitzchak said. So afterwards, Rabbi Yitzchak Volozhin said, I promise you, he said to his listeners, such an answer didn't enter my mind. That Tzemach Tzedek threw the answer into my head. So you'll ask, so why did he himself give such an answer? Because he didn't want to reveal something in Torah which is not true. And he continued to say, the Gaon, Rabbi Yitzchak Volozhin, he himself then looked at all of the earlier editions, and it doesn't say the word ketoil. It says haroig, like it says. He said this was from heaven, and the Tzemach Tzedek gave me the idea. He didn't want to say it because it couldn't come out of his mouth something that isn't true. He didn't regret Rabbi Yitzchak saying it, but that I could, for me, it was all right. That's my world, but not his. There's a similar story with the Alter Rebbe, but not for now. Okay. You know the story of the kiss with the Alter Rebbe. There was a fellow came to Alter Rebbe that he had doubts in Emunah. He told him to go to Rav Aaron Hagodol, Rabbi, and
Scheller?
no. Rabbi and the two brothers, Rabbi and Kalirner. So he comes there, and he's waiting to go into him, and he's in the hallway, and he hears the other side of the door, and maybe there is an Eibishter, and maybe there is an Eibishter. Efshes Yodagot. And the Rabban Kalirner said it 3 times, or maybe it's Shlomo Kalirner, his brother. And hearing this from the Rebbe, this great tzaddik, his doubts all dissipated. Finished. So the question is, why did I have to send him to Rabban Shlomo Kalirner to say to himself? You understand? The Alter Rebbe is not could not say when Efshe maybe there is. In other words, maybe there is such language went to a level where that could be said. Similar story. Okay, you have a wonderful day.